Yeah, I'm here. I'm making Luscepia content still. I know what you're thinking. Bruh, the days of freaking Fakemon PA games are over. Just stick with the copyrights. No, no. We're doing tier list. Shop. Go anyways, we're doing tier list. Um so well, okay, so let me play this out for you. So I'm basing the first one that you'll see, the player versus bosses, off of, well, just the thing itself, not considering any evolutions, though they are pretty linear, so it's not like it matters. So yeah. All right, let's get into this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the tier list you see right here is a boss tier list. So this will be the ones you use for bosses. So let's begin with F tier, Clampy. So it's kind of garbage. It's a support mon. It's first stage. It has 300 HP. The moves Bubble Beam and Heal Pulse. So it can heal. Not really useful for soloing. I mean, you can heal the boss, make it more challenging, but and Bubble Beam's just not that strong. So yeah. Okay, D tier we have what's that? What's that? Frilight? Yeah, it's a Frilight. So Frilight's pretty cool. He's a guy. He's a low guy. He's a light bulb. And the reason he's non F tier is because Psychic. He has Psychic, which is, multi-hit projectile move, 90 base damage. So most of the time it's going to be doing 100 damage, because one of those usually crits. 100 or more damage. And that's strong for a singular thing. Now, let it be known that is probably most likely going to change. Probably to Thundershock, because duh. Yeah. Okay, we got C tier. Um, I don't know. I think the worst of these would be Kakanisi, just because it's not that fast, and Pin Missile is not that good of a move. Let's be clear here. Absorb isn't that good either, but healing. Healing is definitely important for bosses. Um, that's why the Egg 3 meta currently is focused on Meganium, even though it is slow. Because the only two things that matter are speed and health. And damage output does not matter if you can. Either way, so I have both the weaker healers here, Violet and Kakanisi. Kakanisi, it's not that good. I'd definitely say Violet is much better, but Violet's not that good either. It's just the other moves it has are pretty weak. Chip damage, it's a Stallmon, which it's not even that good. It does not have a lot of HP. None of the Mons do in this game. Nurse Shell being the only outlier. Um, but none of them have bad HP stats either, which is really weird. Like maybe Clampy and Frightlight, but that's it. Clampy has 300. I'm not sure about Frightlight. I think it's less though. Um, but Violet's fast. I think he has a physical move, which is okay for boss fights, as you might know. But besides that, he's got nothing else for it. Let's talk about Scaramp. So, allow me to just recheck its moveset. Okay, I rechecked. Its moveset gains Will-O-Wisp, and it has 480 HP, which in normal PA is cool, but in this PA game, not as cool. I mean, it's still up there, of course, because the range is like 300 to 600, or something like that. But still, maybe like 200 to 600. That's still, I don't know, just nothing in this game is essentially broken yet. We have Nurse Shell, which we'll get to, but that's not essentially broken, because to get to its quote unquote broken state, you still need to take damage, and 600 HP is just not that good on anything in terms of normal PA. And this one too. The Quill Boss does a lot of damage. But then again, none of this really matters because we're basing this tier list off the one boss we currently have. So yeah. Let's talk about Quill though. A Quill is, well, he's an interesting guy. He's got two. He's a mixed fighter. He has two projectiles, two physicals, pound and poison jab. I know he has water pulse and another water type move for a second projectile. I'm not sure. Um, and then I don't know his HP, but I'm pretty sure it's not really screaming impressiveness enough. 570, I think. I'm not sure. I'm also basing these off their max HP at level 100, which, put that into perspective. The max HP for a Pokemon, or goddamn, for a Luscepian in this game is 600. You didn't hear me say a Pokemon. Anyways, it's not that good. Hopefully we get more good stuff. Then again, normal PA's highest was 900 Mega Celebi. 900 something. I think it was 900, just 900, yeah. And yeah. We'll have to see how it plays out though. As y'all know, this is a work in progress game. So let's talk about A tier. I'll discuss Terra Ramp first. It gets Shadow Ball. Again, not that big of a change. Probably gets a good health boost. Because of course, it's a linear evolution line. What do you expect? There's not much to talk about with Terra Ramp. He's sometimes considered the best. I don't think so. He's just a starter. Starters aren't that good in anything. Apparently he's going to be the only starter. Maybe. We'll have to see. The thing's a tie. I personally support that. But, yeah. Kakanito. We'll get to Kakanito in a different context in just a bit. But for now, yeah, it's okay. So this is definitely a go-to option, but it's a physical attacker, which is not that good. Actually, no, it's a mixed attacker. It has Giga Drain, which is probably why I put it up in A tier, because healing. And yeah, it also has Sucker Punch, which in itself makes it really good in both fields. Yeah. So if you know how to play around projectiles, well, actually no, we're not doing that part yet, because we're on bosses. Bosses can't play around projectiles, so they're screwed by the moment they see a Kakanito. But then again, Nurse Shell. Let's talk about it. S tier. Why did I put in S tier? One thing, it's really fast. I had a whole thing where I separated them. So let me bring this up again. So when I was doing this, I put this on paper. Nurse Shell Solo is in A tier. Nurse Shell Duos is in S tier. Nurse Shell support for a non-Nurse Shell is in S tier as well. So I just averaged it out to S tier. Nurse Shell Broken, of course. Yeah, it just got multiple uses. Yeah, that's basically what you do when your role is to be a support mod. Or Luscep. I don't know. I'm not just starting short Luscepian. We'll leave it up to Muddy on that one. Either way. It's got Water Pulse and Rock Throw, which aren't the strongest of moves. But they're cool. They're cool moves. So yeah. You gotta respect it. This is still the best thing in the game. Especially if you're not solo. If you are solo, like I said, A tier, Kakanito might be better for you, or maybe even Terra Ramp. Basically, they're basically almost in a three-way tie for bosses, until you bring another Nurse Shell, or you bring another player that isn't a Nurse Shell. Then Nurse Shell is a go-to, and yeah, it makes boss fights much easier as Nurse Shell. So let's move on. All right, the second tier list for this video. There's only two. I already made a tier list on my personal opinions on them. I might have to update that. Actually, yeah, this will be 3 tier lists. So, this one's going to be PvP. Fuck. I'm sorry. Player versus player. No one plays this game, but if they do, here's your tier list to what to do. So that's so stupid. Let's just. All right, here's the tier list. I'll give you a second to digest this. Um, so as you're digesting this, okay. So let's start from the bottom with the bottom three being in order: Clampy, Frightlight, Scaramp. Frightlight's behind Clampy because of the tier list issue, stupid thing, whatever. So I just put these three on the bottom because there's always better options. You know, they're evolutions. Um, I said I wasn't going to take evolutions into account for this, but they just suck anyways. Like, tell me, what is Will-O-Wisp going to do for you in a PvP fight? Nothing. Neither is Astonished does like 20 to 40 damage. I don't know. I didn't check. Either way, it's still a weak move, and as you know, physicals are usually the only thing that PvPers rely on, which brings us to our next point, Kakanisi. So, Kakanisi is here because, well, what are you gonna do with two project? Actually, switch Scarab and Kakanisi around. Make all the first stages at bottom. Because, one, they all suck, and two, it's only logical because you can literally just evolve and become much better. Yeah, Kakanisi has Absorb and Pin Missile, and they're projectiles, and they're not really strong at all. And then, the Scarab rant into that here. Alright, next would be a Quill, in my opinion. So, a Quill has, the mix set, Pound, Poison Jab, Water Pulse, and something else. And it's just not as good as its boss counterpart. That's his father. That's canon now. That's canon. I've made lore for Luscepia right here and right now. I mean, it is a PA game. It is a video game with a boss in it, so the boss has to be reduced to 10% strength when playable. It's only natural. Yeah. Okay, next one, Violet. Violet has three projectiles and Sucker Punch, but Sucker Punch is actually strong, unlike Pound, and Poison Jab is also strong. But let's just focus on Sucker Punch, because I'm just saying, if you land one Leech Seed and Sucker Punch, you're basically killing them pretty fast if they're a noob. But probably not fast enough, which is, why it's in C tier and not S or A. It'd probably be A if you're fighting a noob. But as for other moves, I have forgotten and I don't care, so let's move on. I mean, I know there's Poison Sting, which is a little chipping move. You hit it once, which is probably the hardest part, and then you get free damage. Alright, next we'll talk about Terror Ramp. Again, with the projectile set. Terror Ramp is probably in like a lower B, but since there's nothing in B, he's just going to be a normal B, of course. So, yeah. I say lower B because it just doesn't compare to these last two. Nurse Shell, again here because of the supporter roles. Solo is in B tier. I think I put, well, let me check this. Solo B tier, Duo A tier, because it's two of them, of course, and Support S tier. Because if you put support with Mr. Kakanito, I don't know. You're kind of being as helpful as the Kakanito itself is. So, if you're playing in a PvP thing, duos, as anything without a Nurse Shell by your side, you're kind of missing out on a free win, maybe. But you're not, because this game is dead. So I'm sorry. Okay, let's talk about Kakanito. It's got two draining moves, which probably don't matter. The main thing you're here for is Sucker Punch and Fast Speed. which is obviously why it's S tier. Just give any fast mon or Luscep or whatever a priority move. I keep saying Luscep. Give any fast creature a priority move, and they're going to win most of the time, unless against itself or another thing, or an Ursalok shell, or a thing with an Ursalok shell, because you suck. Anyways, that's it basically. Let's move on to to the the personal tier list. Sure. Yeah. Okay, so this last tier list is just, personal opinions. I did this a while back, but I've I've grown a little bit since then, so let's just do this. So this is oh wait, wrong one. So I'll look at two tier lists for this one. This first one is just my opinion of them. Um as you can see, all of them are good. Yeah. The second one, which will be coming up, is a um basically just to make it basically like a Luscepia average. So that I just wanted to show this one first because the next one has Frightlight as F tier, and I just want to make clear I do not hate Frightlight. He is a low goobler. He is a low guy. All right, let's just show the next one. So like I said, this one's just to pan out the tier list. This is like a Luscepia average. So Frightlight's like the worst one of Luscepia, so that's why he's in F tier. That's the only reason he's F tier. They're all funny, so I don't hate them any of them. At least not anymore. But yeah. Let's just jump into it. So Frightlight's at the bottom because he just doesn't cling as well as the other ones, in my opinion. The Frightlight line is kinda basic, cool concept, cool it's the starter. It's the one that gets you into Luscepia. You have to play this one. It's the only one you are required to play. But that's why, yeah, but it's the one that introduced us, even if I questioned its existence for the first few seconds I met it in Cringy Legends, But, yeah. He's just a silly little guy. Scarab isn't much better, but still cool, of course. I do like the lamp design. It's pretty cool. It's like it's like the Pixar logo. Anyways, we'll just talk about Terra Ramp next before I get to the Kakanisi line. They're pretty cool. Actually, yeah. Okay, so he's taller now. He's pretty cool. He do be shapes though. He do be shapes, and his head looks like the pieces from Petscop. That's all I see when I look at it. That's all I see. Next, we got the Cactus Boys. I hated them. They're cool now, especially after becoming broken in my eyes. Anyways, yeah. And they got funny flowers, and they have custody over the children. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyways, we'll just skip. Yeah, there's Lock Shell. I don't like it as much. The face is kind of off-putting. That's it. That's all I had to say about that. The designs are cute though, on both of them. Clampy's just small and cute and pink. Next one, Aquill. Aquill is like the Clefable and Gengar, but it's Clampy and Aquill. It's like a cheap knockoff. Still cool boss fight though, and he's the only one I spam the emoji of in the Discord server. And then Violet's self-explanatory. We don't have to talk about it there's no need to explain it. It's just self-explanatory. Like goddamn. So that's it. Let me know if I'm wrong. That's it.